Welcome to the Gravel Paddock, the podcast that takes you directly inside the professional gravel peloton. I'm your host, Antonin, Elite Athlete Manager. Here, we bypass the fluff and talk about what actually matters: raw race tactics, pro tech setups, and the unfiltered business of modern racing. From the UCI World and Gravel Earth Series to the American monuments of the Lifetime Grand Prix, the race starts here. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome everyone to the second episode of the Gravel Paddock. Today we are crossing the Atlantic to talk about gravel racing and the American dream. We are diving into high altitude winter prep in Colombia, the brutal Transcordilleras race, and a raw debrief of Valley of Tears. And finally, the massive shift to a privateer setup. My guest today is an elite gravel racer, Simon Pellaud. Simon, welcome. And how are you?
Good morning here in Oklahoma in the US, and I'm okay. Happy to chat with you today.
So, Simon, for those who don't know your engine yet and who you are, could you briefly introduce yourself and maybe your background, how you came to gravel?
I'm a Swiss bike rider. I've been racing on the road for many years in the biggest teams around. Not the biggest rider, but I've been racing for the biggest team. And I switched to gravel like 1.5 year ago now. And I'm enjoying this new scene and having fun traveling around, and especially here in the US.
So, if we do a quick rewind on 25, you came back from the road to the gravel scene. And how do you find this? And how do you do in your daily training to switch from the world tour, aiming for victories on the biggest gravel races?
First of all, I need to say that I'm still a road racer. I still have a contract with Leaning Star, which is the dominant and the best team in China. We are in the top 3 in the Asia Tour, so it means we are invited to all the Asia races. It's a big thing. Many riders are only doing that, but that's like my hobby, let's say, as gravel is my main concern at the moment. I use the road to stay fit and to get my best fitness for the important gravel races. I can also say that it's pretty different mentally also, the preparation for the gravel, because on my opinion, the main thing is that racing for a road team, like a big team on the road, you're just like training. I had the feeling I was not training for me or for my own performance, but I was training for someone, for my leader and for my captain, let's say. And now I'm just training for myself. Everything I'm doing it for myself, and I'm my own center of attention. So it's mentally it's really different, and I can really focus on the event that I want to focus on. I'm really good in terms of like mental preparation, like getting into my bubble for the races. And if I start thinking about an event like 1 month before the event, normally I go there and I perform the way I want to, but at the highest level and on the road, I was just like a little bit in the fog. You don't know exactly why you're there, what you're doing, how you should do the things, and level is just so high that and speed so fucking crazy that in the end, like, you just do like that. You put your head in the wind and you're gone, and you don't feel like so useful in the end. So mentally it's been game changer, but on the same time, gravel racing is also changing quite fast, and so that's why I try to enjoy the most of it while I can.
Regarding 25 on to 26, what were the key takeaways? What worked on one side, and what you think you need to change on the other side to perform this year?
Everything worked pretty well into 25, but still I decided to change everything. But that's a little bit who I am, and it's a little bit the way I've been working during my entire career. I mean, I always been proactive. If you wait for the moment that the things are not working anymore to change, it means it's too late. you already dropped. So it's also my way of racing. I prefer to be one step ahead in breakaway instead of thinking if I can maybe follow the right move at the right moment. If I'm already in the front, the right move will come to me. So it's also what I'm doing during my racing and my career is pretty much the same mentality. In the end, I decided to become a privateer to try to be my own team because I just got like a great opportunity with Cervelo. I could feel their interest and yeah, I mean, I felt like I was the person that they were looking for, first of all. So I really want to thank them. Not like, yeah, it's been game changer, like feeling that interest to my person, to my image, to my performance also for sure. But not only, I'm here because before I was, okay, as I said, in the fog, let's say in the highest level of road racing. Then I became a gravel rider wearing like a World Tour team kind of jersey, but without feeling that interest and that small thing that made me like being someone, let's say. And now that's the now I have like the overall picture also. I'm taking care of my travel, I'm taking care of my sponsors, I'm taking care of my training, I'm taking care of my nutrition, and on top of that, that's what made also me taking the decision to become a privateer. I'm also like working directly with the brands. I'm working with Cervelo, with the engineers to improve their bikes. I'm working directly also with other brands to improve their product to go where the gravel scene is bringing us to. So also with the tires, with Maxis, doing some testing, getting there slowly where I really want to be in terms of material, and it's something that's really interests me. Yeah, that's what also made me take that decision to become a privateer.
Yeah, because when you are in the World Tour team, you've been given the product and that you need to race on. Sometimes you have technical debrief, but you have no time and maybe no interest into working closely with a brand, and it's always a bit challenging for the brand to work with only one rider.
Yeah, that's the point. And all those teams, they have an engineer paid for that, and they are coming out from the university, and they are nerds. They are crazy good, but it doesn't exist in gravel. So in gravel, then they just it was just forbidden for me to speak with the brands because of interest, or I don't know exactly the reason behind, but I was not allowed to have like a direct contact with the brand, and for me that was a pretty big like lack of yeah, pretty big problem. Let's say it like that.
Okay, great. So talking about 2026, we can go on the schedule. Can you let us know what are your main objectives of the year, or the main races you are targeting for 26?
Yeah, sure. I mean, last year I had a crazy good season. I think it will be hard. It will be hard to have such a good season this year too. I know that. I'm aware of that because I only lost gravel Swiss in Villars and the Swiss Championship on the road, where I got sick the day before, 2 days before. For the rest, I've been answering on the road or on the gravel from January to November. So it's been a crazy season last year. I just missed the big win I've been looking for, and that's what I'm aiming for this year. So maybe I don't want to say that, but I will consider my season more than successful if I can get that big win that's been missing last year, because last year I finished second at Unbound, third at Leadville, second at Gravel Burn GC, second at Lifetime GC. I still won the Transcordilleras. I won a lot of races last year. I never won so many races, but at the same time, to win the biggest gravel races, you need to get something special out of your pocket. So that's what I'm hoping for this year, especially here in the US or wherever. But we all know that gravel teams are growing around, and it's going to be harder and harder being a privateer also to fight against those organized teams. We will see. But for now, I just want to enjoy racing, go back to my level because I've been injured. I'm injured still. And then I tell you, I have the motivation and what it needs to raise the real front to any kind of gravel race around the world.
Yeah, and you finish second of those big races, those big moments when everybody is looking at you because it's the top gravel races worldwide, and now there are live coverages and so on. So that's a big moment, and you're just one step of the podium away from this big victory. So I'm pretty sure it gives you the motivation to climb this spot and to finish on the top one.
Yeah, it does, but we all know that last bit is the hardest one to get,
Yeah.
the last percent, last 2%. So as I said, I'm aware that last year I did crazy good season. It will be maybe remembered like my best ever because I also won quite a lot on the road. I've been successful all year long, but in the end, you need to keep on improving and try to get that last bit, and that's also why I decided to become a privateer, to be able to choose my partners, to be able to get that little something different in terms of in the material side and in terms of physical condition and everything. I also have to do the choices and take the correct decision to perform well. And it's not always more and more, the more and more and more that make the strongest rider in the end.
And so to do this, you need to build the engine. You've been known to do all the winter prep since a long time in Colombia because you have a Colombian heart. Explain us why Colombia. Is it the high altitude training benefits, the daily routine there, which is you are in a quiet place so you can focus on your training, on yourself? Why do you go to Colombia to train there? And why do you love this country so much?
Yeah, it's been 10 years already since I first arrived in Colombia, and let's say 9.5 since I more or less live there. Arriving in Colombia, I've been game changer, not in my career only, but in my life. I've met people there that completely changed me and completely changed my way of seeing things around and my way of thinking. I mean, I will come back to this fog and this grayness, let's say it like that, that I could feel when I was racing at the highest level in Europe, and Colombia have been my secret weapon to fight against that. And Colombia is just so colorful, so full of emotions, full of great people. I live in a very quiet place at high altitude, so people are paying to go at high altitude for training camp and so on, and me, I'm just sitting on my couch and taking care of my cat and first my wife and my cat up there. So mentally it's really different. I don't feel doing anything special when I'm up there, just like I'm home, getting the best benefit of doing that. And also, living in Switzerland or in the US, the price of the life is also super high. Colombia for me is kind of an El Dorado for that. I never earn like big money to ride my bike, so I could also get more freedom. Let's say it like that. Living in Colombia, I could buy a small land, build a house, a cabana, as we say, a small house on top, which was also one of my dreams since I'm a teenager, let's say. When I was in Belgium, for example, in Switzerland, it's impossible. I never really thought about that. But when I was in Belgium with Julien Taramarca, for example, or Dries Devon, it's my friends, and I stay at their place, and I was seeing all the way around te coupe, to sell all the houses and lands. I thought, fuck, it would be one of my dreams to have one of the to make one of these land mine. And in the end, I could get that opportunity in Colombia, not really in Belgium, but Colombia in the end. So not quite the same place around, but still in the end, it was, yeah, that freedom that made me stick there. And if we speak about cycling, Colombia is well known for its cycling passion, let's say. Cycling in Colombia is the second sport after football. On a sunny Sunday early morning, if I go and train around, I can meet like 3,000, 5,000 cyclists climbing Alto de Palmas, Las Palmas, or La Unión, or those famous climbs around. It's just like crazy. And even if now the traffic is getting like a little too much, let's say, in around my place, around Medellin, but still there is a lot of respect for the cyclists on the road. I never been like kicked out of the road. I never be boomed, or I never been like that sensation where you don't feel. I mean,
Safe.
safe at all. And cyclists in Colombia, they are respected. You don't need to be afraid of having a car coming behind you. So that's also for me super important. And in the end, as you know, now also with the gravel, I'm also able to find new training roads, let's say, and new places where to train. So it's also a good way to escape the traffic.
So previously you said that you switched everything this year and you changed everything you've done to become a privateer. And so how do you adapt to a new partner, the new equipment you have? Because you're solo now, so maybe you work with some mechanic and so on, but having worked with the same partners, let's say the same equipment during your last years at Tudor on the World Tour team. And how do you do now? How you organize yourself, and how was it to discover, new equipment, new bike, new kit, new shoes, new helmet, everything new for you? How do you manage this, and what is your feeling?
Oh, first of all, I want to say that my partners and my sponsors at Turo were like great. I mean, I could never have done half the season I did with bad partners and bad material, bad equipment. That for sure. And now it's a different story. There is so much more time invested to speak with the partners, to get things rolling, and get a little bit of help. It's much needed because it's a new world. There is so much to do, and I need to be more. I'm kind of organized, but I need to be much more organized than before. There are many more things that people don't think about. It's a big change, actually. I've been fighting some knee pain in the last few weeks, and when you're like injured like that, you also start thinking about where the problem come from and everything, and you know how it is. But because I had a lot of changes, I changed more or less everything. Let's say in the bike, the position, the pedal, the shoe, the saddle, especially. It's a lot of changes. So it's mentally. I knew I will struggle a little bit. I always did during my career, changing teams and material. But this year it hurt me a little more. But I'm getting there. Also, it's been like a rough winter because I've been racing on the road and in China until December 16. So I didn't have that much time as I would have loved to. So we are a little late, but I'm now getting there. I'm feeling good on the bike. I like my position, and I just need to decide a couple of things and details. It's great. And as I said, it's a long-term process. I didn't change again next year. I did a big change to now stick there until the end of my career. Okay, for sure we'll have some little change around. It's always the case. But my main idea is really to work on a long-term project, and that's why I'm also trying to keep calm, even if not everything is working the way I would like to at the moment. I know that solutions are there, and I will get exactly where I want to go.
Yeah, it is not all perfect roads,
Never.
yeah, it's brutal to change everything at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you seems to loving it, and you can make your own choice also. So as you say, it's a new life, a new way to race and to work with people. Oh yeah, I hope it will be a winning season for you. And talking about racing, we can start the race debrief. So you've raced first Transcordilleras, which is a 8 stages race in Colombia, starting in Medellin, which is, as you said, quite near your place there. So you know well the area, and you were also the reigning champ. You won this race in 25. So yeah, talk us through the race, because it hasn't ended the way you wanted. So how do you manage the preparation? How do you switch to race mode before the first stage, and what's happened on the road, because you had a DNF by the second stage? Oh yeah, walk through the situation and explain us why, and how you came to this.
Yeah, first of all, for me, gravel is not only gravel racing, like Unbound, is not only Unbound or Traca. I really want more than that. I want to discover new places. I want some adventure, some wild open space or jungle to discover, and to, yeah, as I said, it's much more also about the adventure, the human side, than only pushing the pedal, which I was like also trying to avoid and to live from the World Tour racing. So Transcordilleras for me is one of those events where it's not all about racing. You still race, you still want to hammer down and put your hands in the air, but in the end, there is no prize. There is no prime. Only being able to say, I won Transcordilleras. And it's one of the hardest gravel stage race in the world. Let's say it like that, because there is like not much that looks like that with 8 stages and crossing a whole country. Even if the stages are not the longest you can have, for us in the front, in the back, it's a different story. But in terms of timing, but yeah, for me, I was planned to use Transcordilleras as my last prep for the season. Same way as I did it last year. It's a big block. It's 8 days in a row, pushing yourself quite deep, and also getting used to new material and to the bike, especially. And in the end, I hit my left knee rotula like 2 days before against the door of a car pretty badly. I mean, it was painful at the moment, but I didn't expect to have like bad consequences like that. And in the end, 2 days later, during the first stage, I was racing the front, fighting for the stage win, and 10Ks to go. So the pain started, and it was the limit to handle it. And yeah, it went pretty bad. I could win the first stage, like the way I'm always racing, like hammering down and being the strongest rider in the race. And I had to DNF the second stage after like 20 minutes, not even, because the pain started again. I really wanted to protect my season and my knee, and it's been more than 2 weeks now, and the pain is still around. I cannot get rid of it. It's pretty rough mentally, as you know, and as I said, I've been working hard since September or even August last year to get things rolling for this season. I've been training really hard since January 1st when I started my prep, and on the first rest day, everything went the other way. But yeah, it's not easy. But in the end, I'm here. We still have some time. It's better to. It's not better, but it's less worst, let's say, to be injured now than before a big race of the season. But we still have a little time. But it's been rough. Transcordilleras was, as I said, in terms of performance and training, like really important for me. But in the other side, it also gave me a good rest in terms of like physical rest, let's say, like that will maybe be useful and interesting at the end of the second part of the season. So I still need to always take the positive of every situation I'm going through, but leaving that moment when you don't know what you have, how long it will take to recover, and what's the best way to what you need to do to recover. It's not easy.
So following the race, you had some medical check and medical advices about how to treat it, and how have you handled it? What is the situation now? We will talk about the Valley of Tears that you've just done a few days ago, but before it, how did you manage to treat this injury, and how is the situation?
Yeah, for sure. I've been checking around. I visited and I had contact with 3 different doctors also to be able to get like the common story of all of them, and everybody was kind of agreed that my injury is not that bad, let's say, because there is no inflammation. It's not a tendinite. It's not like bad to really get out of the bike. It should have been better maybe, because they all told me that I could be able to keep on riding easy or until the pain show up. And in the end, if I now think that I should have just pull out for 1 week and I could be already back to normal now. I don't know. You never know, you know. But yeah, the main thing is that I don't feel any pain in the normal life, so it's really strange. And if I jump on my bike and I ride 45 minutes, I start to feel something, and after 1 hour I can't pedal anymore. So it's kind of crazy mentally. I'm even thinking, is that only in my brain, or does it really exist? I can fucking stand on the pedal, like it's crazy, you know. And I've been working hard in rehab, doing some physio, getting some more power in my glutes, working on my deep quadriceps muscle to maintain my knee like kind of straight, because from what all the three different doctors that they don't know each other, all the same theory also, like the shock to my knee just put me a little instability in my hip and in my muscles. And then it also, after like training, after a couple of hours on the bike, I have like a disbalance. My hip like is just turning a little bit, and that's where the problem starts, and the inflammation, and then the pain come from. So yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't know exactly how long it will take to recover. That's the main question, because as I said before, I'm really good at mentalization, and if I know that that's where I want to go, still I will find a way to go there with the best possible shape. But if my vision is like blackout and I don't know where to go and what to do to get there, it's pretty rough. Yeah, I'm working on resting, and I still decided to travel to the US from Colombia, even with that knee pain, because everything was already organized. I was going to come here, meet my sponsors, especially Savelo or Criterium.com, which is my helmet sponsor, and other people like Stans, NoTube, and Maxis. Like all my sponsor, my partners are here around. So it was really important to be part of that trip for Valley of Tears and Mid-South here in Oklahoma, where at the moment, not thinking too much about performance, mainly about the relationship and getting that basis pretty strong for the future, and also showing that I'm not only here to perform, but I'm also here to bring the best possible image to the brand, and I'm also a human behind those numbers.
Yeah, the issue with this kind of injury is it is almost invisible, and it brings a lot of uncertainty, because you have a high when you think, okay, I have kind of recover, I don't feel the pain during the first 30 minutes of the ride, and after when you feel the sharp pain again, you are really low, because you are again in this situation in which you say, okay, I cannot race, I cannot train, I cannot, let's say, exploit my capabilities and do the thing the way I want. So it's always a challenging period, and so you walk through it to go to Valley of Tears, and you explained me that you felt a bit less of pain during this race and the beginning, so you have been able to push a bit, and you finished fifth of this race, which was kind of competitive on the paper, with a good US based racer being on the start line. So yeah, explain us how do you feel during this race, and how the race also went for you from the start to the end, and is it something that show the level you are right now, or have you had some trouble on the race course with the knee or anything else?
It's kind of crazy. We had a crit the night before, first of all, a gravel crit. It was kind of crazy, with 200 corners in 500 meters, 90% of them on the left side on top of my knee. So I just started the crit, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, cornering on the sand, because it was so dry and sandy down there in Texas. I thought, oh, it's going to be rough tomorrow. Those guys have really great skills for all the cornering and everything. And I know that at the moment, if I have one point that I need to improve, it's my cornering on loose gravel, because that's where I always lose something, a couple of meters with the guy in front of me. And yeah, that's my main concern in terms of technical skills I have to improve for now. Because if it's really technical, I'm there. But if it's like those high speed corner on the gravel, I'm not the best, like whatever. And then on the race day, I decided to go to ride to the start. So it was like already 40 minutes ride to there, and I started to feel something so on my knee. So I was always telling the people at the start that I will retire, I will just start, and so on. But then once I got into the race, I felt like something, but without going to pain. So I decided to continue and even to push forward. I've been pushing like an idiot, but because I didn't really care about the result, I never thought about even finishing the race. So I really wanted to make it hard and to enjoy that freedom of finally being able to ride my bike for more than half an hour without pain. But it lasts for 3 hours, and then I got stuck in the sand somewhere at the bad moment, just after having pushed pretty hard. So yeah, also playing with that, I paid the price for the performance side. But in terms of the injury, I was still okay until the end. It didn't felt like pain, let's say. So that was really positive. I was happy, and I thought that I may pay the price for it, and I did. I couldn't ride since then. My knees was painful on touching, painful of walking, and that's why I'm taking some days off again now. And I'm sick of being in pain. I just wanna feel myself again. So yeah, in terms of racing, it was nice to be there with those riders and feel that even after 2 weeks without proper training, let's say, even I was still competitive, and just hoping that I will not need another 2 weeks to get back to normal training, and especially mentally normal routine. So it's on one side it's positive, and in the other side it's something in between.
Yeah, at least you've identified now or in a way to treat the injury, because you know that when you're pushing for a long time it's worse, and when you
Yeah.
are resting it's better. So at least you've identified it, because as I said, it's an invisible injury, and it's really painful to treat and
Yeah.
to work it out every day basically. And at least you have this in your bag now. So your next race on your original calendar is Mid-South Gravel, which is
Yeah.
happening by the end of the week. You are already in Oklahoma next to the race start. So how do you feel about Mid-South? Do you have already a plan in your head? I think you don't have the targeted position or time because of what you just explained us. But how you envision the race?
I still don't know actually. I will take like 4 days off between Valley of Tears and Mid-South, so it's from far not to be ideal. But we will see. I will try the day before Mid-South to ride my bike again for more than an hour. And if I can ride without pain, I will start, but I will not be there to race. I really need to take care of myself and my knee. Main goal is in 5 weeks from now in California with the other. I really need to take the decision that have to be taken to be there with my best possible shape for the other Levi and Traka, which is a great black block of racing. So we will see what's the best situation is. I have several options in front of me. Flying back to Europe, stay in Europe, train there, recover there, and then fly back to the US, skipping two of Thailand on the road. I could also, if everything goes better, use Thailand to get in shape the way I want to, or even fly back to Colombia, do some rehab there, and stay at altitude until the race in California, until CO there, or even stay here in the US. I mean, I will have to take a decision in the next few days, but for now, I stick to the plan. I wanna race because there is nothing like racing around to get in shape. But yeah, we will see what's going to happen in the next few days. But Mid-South was a goal in my mind somewhere at some point, but it's not the case anymore. If I only can ride these 100 miles without pain, it will be my greatest victory of the season.
So it will be kind of a test if you line up on the start, and your next few weeks, almost months, will be linked to the way you feel and the injury updates you will have. So yeah, we will follow this, and we all hope that you will be able to line up and to compete, because that's your job. And that's what you really love to do, being a true racer. And yeah, we are always prefer to see a true battle on the field, and not someone who is dealing with injury, with uncertainty, and not knowing if you will be able to push the way you want. So yeah, we'll follow this thing, and cross the fingers for you to be able to race at your full potential. We have a quick segment on this show called the Tech Checks. We are talking about more specific technical part of the bike, and gravel racers really like it, because it's trendy right now, especially around the tire setup and the choices you can make for various races and various terrains. So the terrain was really different I assume, from Transcordilleras to the US setup. You race on the Valley of Tears and you could have on Mid-South. So for Transcordilleras, also it was in autonomy. So you needed to pack everything on the bike. So it's quite different. Could you, let us know what was your setup for Transcordilleras and how you organized this?
Yeah, for Transcordilleras, I was on Apidura bike bags. That's the main thing because, as you said, Transcordilleras is a self-sufficient race, so you need to bring everything you need for the 8 days of racing or whatever you can then find on the road. So it's pretty rough. You need to be lucky also because, as you know, in the gravel, every stone on the floor, every rock, every corner can be the end of the journey. So I was on a really conservative setup too, with a Rudy 50mm fork suspension in the front on my Aspero, with the small gear also. I was on the 6 mountain bike shifter with a 44 chainring in the front, which was already on the limit. I think 42 would have, as last year, would have been enough. But yeah, I decided to go on 44 this year. And Maxxis tires, 50s, with the Rambler, with the silk protection. Most important is to be able to go through mud and through sand too. So because Transcordilleras is a 1,000 kilometer long race, and you never know where you will end it up. If you end up down at sea level in the mud of the Rio Magdalena, or if you have like a couple of dry days at high altitude and fighting against the dust up there. So it's under rocks. So you need to be like a really versatile setup, that for sure. And I was pretty confident with my setup, a little more weight than usual, but also a little more comfort for the downhill, the long downhills, and a little less aero. Aero is not so important when the speeds are so low. So yeah, I was kind of confident with my setup at Transcordilleras, traveling for 8 days with one t-shirt and one shirt, and washing my clothing by hand in the shower every day. It's not for everybody, this I can tell you. But as I said, it's part of what gravel racing is. Gravel racing is in at that level is also going back to what cycling was like 100 years ago, and that's what I also like. Where everybody is there at the same level. Nobody is coming out with 5 mechanic and 3 soigneur and a nutrition plan from a nutritionist and everything. Everybody is wake up at the same time, get the same breakfast, and go to race and let the best win it. So it's also something different.
And what are the changes that you've made for Valley of Tears and Mid-South on the bike?
I changed my bike, so it's easy. I swapped from Aspero to Aspero 5, going back to some aero setup. The tires stay more or less the same because Valley of Tears still had some technical section with some rocks around, and not only sand. But as I said, I changed the bike, which was the main difference. I get rid of my bags, so it was also. I also went on a longer stem to be a little more aero, 120 instead of a 110. So back to normal, let's say.
Good things to know for the gravel racers out there. So looking ahead, what's next for you? You are known to be a globetrotter, so you've said previously that you may travel also to Thailand for the tour of Thailand on the road, and after going back to the US for the beginning of the Grand Prix, the Lifetime Grand Prix. And how are you managing all this as a privateer? Because before you have been able to rely on some people to organize this for you, to take the plane, to organize your travel and so on. So now you need to take on everything by yourself. So how do you manage this?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's a nice puzzle to get together. Last year I had some help, but I was kind of alone to take my own decision. So I'm getting used to it. I'm not so much into losing flights or having planes going away without me. I like to travel pretty close to the races, and mentally also, I prefer to stay home longer and not arrive like 10 days before the races like other riders are doing. Also mentally, with the minimum recon. I have enough. I know what I need. I know where I want to go. I don't want to lie in my hotel room or in my Airbnb for 1 week before the go time. So yeah, it's a lot of organization and stuff, but in the end, I have the chance now with Cervelo at logistic level to have a bike here in the US, one bike also in Colombia, and bike in Switzerland. So it's so much easier. It's luxury for me. I now just need to get all the bikes with the exact same setup, same position, which is also kind of a great puzzle. And then I will be covered, because that's always the main concern when you travel around the world. If your material doesn't make it, that's the worst thing that can happen. So always have a hand luggage with my helmet, my kit, and my shoes, and pray for my bike.
Yeah, you have not the stress of not seeing your bag on the luggage, arriving, or even the bike or the parts being damaged, because yeah, we've seen a lot of stories like this
Yeah,
the past few years.
I also signed my partners thinking about that, having someone here in the US always covering my back, or in Europe the same. It's important to have strong partners, and I'm kind of happy about that. I'm proud that I could get things together, and I know that I'm covered. And if something happened in 2 days, I should be okay.
So, Simon, for the future, what is the first thing you think you need to improve, especially for the two biggest races which are coming and quite fast, with Sea Otter and Traca, as you explained? It could be, yeah, on your setup, injury wise, on your training.
It's a pity, because I was showing my computer who was showing my best number ever at a high altitude in Colombia before that injuries happened. So I know I was really fit. I'm still kind of fit, but I'm getting fat doing nothing. No, yeah, it's not the case, hopefully, but kind of. It's not easy when you jump from a 25 to 30 hours week of training to a 5 hours week. So it's a big change. And the main thing will be to get my mental peace, because I've been like really struggling mentally. Once my knee will be pain free, be ready for the show. That's all I can say for now.
Okay, so the thing we can wish you is to heal well and fast, and to be ready to race again as soon as possible.
Yeah, I need to get some race rhythm. I trained like a lot, but I didn't push myself deep, maybe only one time. So I know that I need to get that last bit of performance, and also getting what I've lost like the last 3 weeks also back. So as I said, I will have to take the right decision in terms of training and racing to go back where I want to go. Also, really, as I said, I have a contract on the road too, so I also need to get that. But thanks to Leaning Star this year, we have more riders in the roster, able to race at the highest level, and able to take my spot as a captain there. And I can also be a bit more chill on that side, because last year we were a little short and I couldn't miss any kind of races. So this year it's also a chance on that side. So we will see what I will take in terms of decision.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it was really nice chat, and I'm happy we were able to go through the privacy change, everything you had in mind for this year, your objectives, and also the situation you are right now, which we've understood is not easy for you. And
Mm.
yeah, cross fingers for you to be able to heal quite rapidly and to align on the starting line at Mid South, Tour of Thailand, and Sea Otter, which was the big
Yeah.
events. So yeah, we will follow you. Where can people keep updates about your injury, about the racing? They can follow you on Instagram, Strava.
Everywhere. I don't show everything either. It's important not to show everything. Just keep people a little hungry.
Simon Pellaud on Instagram, Simon Pellaud on Strava. Follow up, guys, and you will inform with everything going on. So thank you, Simon. It was nice to chat with you, and yeah,
My pleasure.
we'll follow this and your season, and we'll do another debrief after the big block, maybe after Tracker.
Will be good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your interest, and talk later then.
Bye bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Gravel Paddock. If you want to stay ahead of the peloton, the best thing you can do right now is hit that subscribe or follow button. If you enjoyed the deep dive, please drop a 5-star rating and leave a comment. For more inside access between episodes, follow us on Instagram at the Gravel Paddock. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ride hard.